All right, so today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for putting on a ALPHAGVRD camera skin. I got 2 of those. I got one on my Sony 18-105 G series power zoom lens, if that's going to come into focus at all. There we go. And then I just put this one on my Sigma 24-70 2.8. And there we go. So I really like these ALPHAGVRD skins just because, I mean, for one, they look kind of cool, kind of add a little style to your lens. And another reason is they do help prevent scratches. So if you are going to resell a lens, you can just peel one off and it should be scratch free. And according to their pamphlet, they are also water resistant. So that's another added benefit. So based on my 2 experiences using these camera skins, I've come up with 5 tips that I found to be helpful. And I noticed there aren't really too many videos online kind of going through the process. I did record a time lapse of me putting on the newest one, so I'll put that in the video too. But the first tip would be to use the QR code that comes in the packet, which is right there. Because that will actually show you like the individual pieces, because they come like on strips like this, and they don't really say like, oh, this goes on the base of the lens or anything like that. So when I first did my first one, I kind of just had to figure it out on my own, and that wasn't too bad. But this one, because it has all the switches for like the autofocus and the hold buttons and stuff, it was not as self-explanatory. And so I did originally start putting a piece on the camera hood, the lens hood, that was supposed to be on the lens body. So then I wised up and used the QR code, and it shows pretty specifically where each piece needs to go. So that was helpful. Probably should have done that right away, but did not know that was an option. So definitely use the QR code. Another piece of advice, the second tip, would be to start with the lens hood, just to kind of get a feel of like what the material is like and like what it's like to work with. I feel like the lens hood isn't as important to make look good as like the rest of the camera lens. So I would just start there, get a feel for it. Tip number 3 would be do not stretch the pieces. It says that on the packet, but I did that on the first one just because it feels like almost like hockey tape, like where you should be able to pull it taut. The more taut you pull it, the better it'll stick. But actually, like, it is cut perfectly precise, like to the T, to be the correct size. So if you just stretch it, it's just gonna overlap when you make it around the body, and it's gonna not look as professionally done. Tip number 4 would be on pieces that have cutouts in them for numbers. So like the piece that goes, over the zoom ring numbers. This one's probably pretty self-explanatory, but start with those cutout pieces. So like line up the hole over the 24 and over the 35 and work your way around it from there. Don't just try to like start from one end, what you would normally do with tape, and try to maneuver it and land it on the holes. So that would be a lot more challenging. And lastly, one that I did on my Sigma lens that I did not do on my Sony lens was to use a hair dryer at the end to like heat up the tape and kind of get it like tacky. So when you put it on, it's pretty easy to get off. It's not like super sticky, which is kind of nice because if you mess up, it makes it simple to fix your mistakes. But if you really want it to stay on there long term, you want it to get sticky. So using the hair dryer kind of warms up the glue on the inside of the tape, and then you just really smooth it out. And if you have any bubbles or anything like that, if you really heat it up with the hair dryer, it makes it a lot easier to smooth it out. So yeah, that is my 5 tips for applying a ALPHAGVRD camera skin. And for reference, this is the Obsidian camo. And And this one, I believe, is called Mamba.